Building Emotional Intelligence Skills program, talk 2. Today we'll discuss about self-awareness. Before we discuss today's session, let us first have a little bit of recap of what we did in yesterday's class. So in yesterday we had discussed about what emotional intelligence is, why is it important, and how is it going to make a big difference in our lives. Then we had also discussed about uh, amygdala hijacking and how to avoid this amygdala hijacking to happen. Now today's session will go a little further and we'll discuss about self-awareness. Now in the journey from cradle to grave, we come across many situations in our lives, and definitely in these situations our emotions do play a very important role. Now where are these emotions? We are surrounded by emotions. So if you ask me what a human being is, I would say human being is a bundle of emotions. Let they be positive or negative, often will be surrounded with this emotions. Now, if you want to be a successful person in life, if you want to climb the ladder of success, the story should start always from you, or what many elders called it as an I factor. Now, the first step of emotional intelligence is self awareness. So, we have two words here, one is self, and other one is awareness. Awareness means knowing yourself. So, when we talk about awareness, when we talk about knowing ourselves, the next question is what is there to know about ourselves? Means here we are talking about different emotions related to us and how do we exactly react to those emotions in different situations. So the first part is like how or what type of emotions you are good at, and is there any emotion which creates a little bit problem in you, or you are a little bit worried about you? So on the whole, the story starts dealing with our emotions. Like anger is an emotion, happiness is an emotion, sadness is an emotion. Okay, these are all different types of emotions which we generally interact with people on a daily basis. Now, how to understand this? So, first thing that you can do to understand your emotions is we can start a little bit doing an introspection. So, what does an introspection means? Asking ourselves questions. So, what makes me really happy? Okay, or what makes me really sad? Okay, what makes me feel a little bit aggressive? So interception is the first step that you have to take to monitor, to recognize your emotions. So ask yourself questions: what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you aggressive? This is the first step in order to identify your emotions. So, as they say, charity begins at home. So, it should start from you. So, when we want to change others, unless until we don't change ourselves, there's no question of changing others. So, the first thing that you need to do is take some time, be calm, okay, make yourself comfortable, right? Then reflect on situations where you are really happy, and especially focus more on situations where you had felt bad. Now, if you had felt bad or if you were offended, you felt sorry for that, the next thing that we need to do is what was the situation? Was it really your fault? Now, sometimes we overreact. Okay, so or there may be various reasons. Like one maybe take it to an ego, and ego is the biggest uh, root cause of many problems in the world today. So because of ego factor, sometimes people may overreact. Now, any means, so we need to go to the root of the problem. Like if someone is in a situation where he did not like the way the things turned out, he was offended, he was feeling sorry, or he did not like it. Now, it becomes a very important for us at this point to understand why the situation went out of your hands. Was it really your mistake? So here, empathy also helps you a lot. So what is empathy? Looking at the things from the other person's perspective is empathy. Now, empathy will help you to not only resolve the issues, it will also help you to get a very clear picture. Was it really your fault or it was someone else? Now, when we do introspection, so we come across two things within us, that is strengths and weaknesses. Now, human being is a mixture of two. We have got our strengths, we have got our weaknesses. No one is perfect. Everyone has got a strength and a weakness. But the secret here is the moment one recognizes his weaknesses and makes an effort to turn his weaknesses into strengths, so that's where your personality starts evolving. That's where you come in the limelight. That's where you shine like a sun. That's where your personality takes a new your personality radiates positivity. That's where people start liking you. Now, when we talk about our personality, we talk about our strengths, we talk about our weaknesses. Now, if you ask someone to tell about his strengths, he will definitely give a list of the things. I am confident, I am courageous, I am this, I am that, and that's fine. So, everyone will have and should have as many strengths as possible. So, that's fine. But do we accept our weaknesses as equally as we accept our strengths? This is a million dollar question, which fortunately or unfortunately we don't accept our weaknesses. Sometimes we'll be ready to give endless, a big list of excuses. So, is it going to solve? No, it is not going to solve. So, here I would say that we should definitely show the courage to identify your weaknesses. Identify them. Let it be a small weakness or big, it doesn't really matter. No one is perfect in this world. Everyone has got a strength and a weakness. But identifying those weaknesses as early as possible is very important. Then definitely you can bring in changes. What is needed to work on changing your weakness into strength will definitely do it. There is nothing like impossible in this world. But everything doesn't come on its own also. That is also important. We need to put in some effort. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So what we have to do first, identify your weakness. Was it something that was there right from the beginning, or it started, or there's some incident related to it, or you had cultivated this weakness of after some specific event, or after something went wrong unexpectedly? Then it has to be addressed. You do a recap, just work on, reflect, and try to overcome your weakness. So just identifying the weakness is not sufficient. We need to work on strengthening your weakness. Then you will find that your confidence levels increase. So when we say a personality doesn't mean your physical appearance. It doesn't mean how you look, or you handsome, or you beautiful. That's not a question here. That's not a complete personality. That is only one aspect of the personality. So what is a complete personality? Your mental framework, your attitude towards people, your attitude towards life. That is what all personality is all about. How are your perceptions towards the world? Are you an optimist person or are you an pessimist? Do you look at things with a broader perspective, or do you narrow down the things? So here, knowing your strengths and weaknesses will make you aware of yourself. When you become aware of yourself, you will gradually have control upon yourself. So there's a saying now at in 20s, a person has a thought like he can change the world. Young blood, strong thoughts. So obviously he will definitely say, I will change the world. But does the thought remain the same as he ages? No. Why? Because he starts realizing, he starts understanding his capacity, he starts understanding his limitations. Now, sky is the limit, so you have to put in the efforts. Don't worry about the end results. Just put on what best you can do, what best you can do to improvise yourself. One cannot change the world, but one can definitely change himself. And that small change is enough. So, change should always start from one person. If there is a change, evolution of personality, a complete new person coming out, trying to overcome his negativity, trying to be more positive. So, one positive person, one positive personality is sufficient to change one family. And one family changes, then it changes an area. When it changes an area, it changes a city. When it changes a city, almost it spreads to other city. Then the story doesn't end there. So it goes to nations and nations. That is what is needed. So here, humanity should be given more importance. So when you become aware of yourself, then it leads to, when you are able to control yourself, then you will be more successful, not only in a professional way, but you will have uh, nothing will touch you. So what you can do is you can spend some time reflecting on your thought process. Now, do you know a general human being gets bombarded by 90,000 thoughts a day? Yeah, you heard it right. 90,000 thoughts a day. And unfortunately, out of those 90,000 thoughts, most of them, means 80 to 90% of the thoughts are negative thoughts. So, the second thing that you can do is monitoring your thoughts. Give weightage to thoughts that are positive and avoid the thoughts those are negative. This is the second thing that you can do once you become aware of yourself. And unfortunate thing is, among those 90,000 thoughts, most of the thoughts that we have, or negative thoughts which get repeated again and again. So avoid negative thoughts. Okay, build your self-esteem. So what is self-esteem here? Self-esteem is how you look at yourself. So why do we have a lower self-esteem or higher self-esteem? Always you should have a higher self-esteem. Always hold yourself high. Never underestimate yourself. Then again, let me give you a caution. It should not lead to overconfidence. Always have an higher esteem. Don't underestimate yourself. This will lower your confidence levels. So when you become aware of yourself, then you will have a better understanding of yourself. When you have a better understanding of yourself, then you will not depend upon the judgments or opinions or views of others. You'll start believing in yourself. And when you start believing in yourself, that becomes the key thing to build your confidence levels. So, in today's session, we had looked at why self awareness is important and what can be done to become self aware. Tomorrow's session will look at self management, how to manage our emotions. So, with this, we'll end today's session. Take care, stay in home, stay indoors. Have a good day. Bye.